Skating better and, getting pucks deep.
Putting the puck deep.
Put pucks in deep.
He's tripping pucks. He's getting pucks deep.
Getting a lot of pucks deep. Getting pucks deep.
Just put the puck deep.
Getting pucks out. Getting pucks deep.
Get pucks deep. Wear them down.
Get pucks in.
Pucks in.
Pucks in deep.
Puck deep. Pucks deep. Keep getting pucks deep and, deep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pucks and Deep podcast. I'm your host, Ali, also known as Dark Chocolate, also known as Brown Vetchkin. I am here with the Sleepinator himself, Parker, and Junior C legend, Kylan, who also got suspended for 3 games for a cross-check. But, he's not as good as McDavid as much as you'd like to think.
What do you mean? I am the Junior C McDavid.
He is the Junior C McDavid. Everyone knows that.
If McDavid was a defenseman.
And if McDavid actually had hands. Didn't have hands, sorry.
Yeah, if McDavid had hands. I have better hands than McDavid according to
you
Ali
totally
now.
do.
Yeah,
totally
that's
do.
realistic.
You definitely got McDavid hands here. All right, guys. So we got a big episode coming up today. And I'm not talking about Parker here.
Dog.
It's so big.
Dog, don't feed the comments like that. Don't feed the comments like that. We already know Will Clapperton's out there, and he doesn't pull his fucking punches, all right?
Oh, okay, all right. We got a little beef here now.
No, there's no beef.
Got a little
There's
beef?
no
All
beef.
right.
No beef. I don't want the smoke, dog. I don't want the
Don't
smoke.
talk about beef because he's going to make a fat
Dog,
joke.
shut the fuck up. No, I don't want beef.
I love how
don't
me
want
and Kylan said we're gonna chill, and then this happens.
beef. I don't want the smoke. I don't want the smoke.
Oh, he doesn't want the smoke. He
I
doesn't
don't
want
want
one.
the
All right, moving on. I want to talk about sort of the stuff we have on plan for topic. We did originally have a new segment that we were going to do. However, You okay there?
We're good. We're good. I'm just testing you things out.
Issue was with this segment is that the person that was supposed to be here to help with the segment could not make it due to some family stuff. So I'm going to start off with sort of, we all know the season's gone up to this point. Vancouver gave Buffalo their first win in 14 games.
The one thing you told us not to bring up.
Let's talk about that game real quick. Let's talk about that game real quick. Because I think the Canucks wants to hear your opinion, Sleepinator.
No, we were fucking winning, dog. We were fucking winning, is all I have to say. We were winning.
Thank you, Buffalo, man. Thank you, Buffalo.
I just love the
All I
fact
gotta
that I just love.
we were winning.
One more thing I have to say about the league up to this point is everyone's up in arms about the whole Garland and McDavid situation.
We need to talk about that. Yeah.
I suck it up, Edmonton.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I think 3 games is a little severe. I would have given him 1. Because, I'm sorry, Garland was on his ass. Garland was laying on top of him.
Yeah,
deal with it.
I think
Deal with it.
I think that whole situation could have been avoided by one whistle.
Dude,
Fucking deal
I
with
really
it.
can't wait until this new documentary comes out that we are currently shooting right now. Just a little teaser here. But the Oilers fan I did interview, did he have some words for Vancouver? He had some big words. I'll show you this after the podcast. But it's a big one.
Well, my opinion on that whole situation is I think it could have been prevented with one whistle. Like just you see them struggling like that. First off, McDavid was on top of Garland, gets up, then Garland pushes him down. One whistle, give him coincidentals. That whole situation is diffused.
I don't
Nothing
think
happens from that.
Honestly,
you give McDavid interference. You give Garland a hold. Boom, done. That whole situation never happened.
Look,
I think it was very easily avoidable, and I think that to a point, the refs should have controlled that a little bit more. It's a late in the game. The Canucks are winning. Edmonton's gonna be a little more feisty. You gotta call it a little tighter,
especially a 3-2 game, empty net.
Yeah,
right?
you gotta call it a little tighter because both McDavid's suspension is unavoidable and Tyler Myers' suspension is avoidable at that point, which is a key part of the Canucks' defensive core. I'm not taking a side in this situation. I think both situations were easily avoidable by one whistle and one coincidental. I'm sure Parker can even say he would have much rather to see one whistle have a coincidental go, because that's not going to put your team down at disadvantage. Have a coincidental go on the 2 of them and keep Tyler Myers for the game against Buffalo, which they may have won then if they had defensive core.
Honestly, I might be Oilers glazing right here, and I know we're not a big Oilers fan podcast here, but I think Garland should have gotten the penalty there. I don't know about McDavid. Garland started this completely. He was on McDavid's ass, right?
Yeah,
Garland started this situation. You should be going to the box.
No,
I'm sorry. If I'm McDavid, if someone's on my ass like normal, I'm cross-checking them in the face. It was come on.
Here, Ali,
I
think you have a tendency to get a little heated a little too quick.
I think the retaliation.
I'm like a puppy. I get riled up.
I
really
think the
easily.
retaliation did not warrant the crime. However, I think Garland should have got a hold. But the issue is that once he pulled McDavid down, yes, McDavid laid there on top of him. And I get it. You're looking for a call in that situation, but laying there on top of him is interfering from Garland from defending as well. So that's why I said he should have just given coincidentals. If he gave coincidentals, that holds the situation's diffused. McDavid's still in, Garland's still in.
I think it was Garland more holding him than anything. Like, honestly, I'm sorry. we had like a minute left in the game.
100%.
McDavid is not worried about freaking fighting Connor Garland at that point. If it was like 15 minutes left in the game, I'd be like, okay, I'll give you a pass there.
No, 100%.
1 minute left in the game. Garland knew what he was doing. He knew if you get McDavid out of the game, the Oilers don't have a chance to win. Simple as that.
Well, yeah, that's just called strategy, though.
It is, but
It's a
again,
two-man team.
like
There's
you said,
Leon Draisaitl.
there should have been a whistle.
I
I think it should have been a one
And
game
they have
max.
Stuart Skinner. What are you talking about?
It should have been a 1 game max or a fine. I think 3 games is a little too big.
Issue is with that, and the reason I understand why the league gave them 3. They're trying to set a precedence here where for player safety, they're trying to set a precedence like of the 3 games. That's why they're going to be being a bit harsher on it.
Still didn't get shit for the on guard to the throat of Filip Hronek.
There's nothing.
That was nothing. Nothing on that.
The chicken wings,
Yep.
or the stick to the face of Hughes last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, fucking.
I saw
had to
nothing.
get stitches.
I saw absolutely nothing.
I'm just saying, I find it funny how Oilers are yelling about how player safety, you gotta protect your stars type thing, and then you have Corey Perry literally just throttle Quinn Hughes and toss him to the ice, dude. That was the funniest. There's a scrum. Corey Perry's like, when he sees Hughes, I see him grab here, push in his face, and throttle him down. I'm like, oh yes, player safety.
Honestly, this Oilers Canucks rivalry is so much fun, though. I've never had more fun watching it. Like,
it was
just
so
see two
funny.
teams
There's
going at
some describing. They're like Oilers fans going to Flames fans and being like, hey, we should team up and rival the Canucks. You know, when instead of the Battle of Alberta, we do the Bond of Alberta. And it goes to a back interview of the Flames fan. He's like, dude, this is the first time we haven't beef with a Canadian team. I don't want fucking shit right now. Like,
yeah. We're kind of the peaceful ones right now. We're low-key the Ottawa right now.
dude, I forgot Ottawa was a team. Holy shit,
I
they're
know.
so irrelevant.
Ottawa is just the most
Except
peaceful
Brady
team.
Tkachuk breaking a pane of glass on a hit, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Brady Tkachuk, man.
Okay, next thing I want to talk about 2 things. First off, it's going to be a little bit of a transition here.
Wait, no, sorry. I just want to talk about yesterday's game, of the Canucks Oilers game. Do you have anything to say about that at all?
Nope, no comments.
I feel like it was an absolute great game. I mean, Demko, 5 goals? No, 6 goals,
No
right? 6
comment.
goals on 35 shots, something like that.
No comment.
Around there, just off the top of my head.
No comment.
It was chippy, though. I'm excited. Dude, I want to see a Vancouver-Edmonton series again. I think everyone wants that. That's great content. The two fan bases freaking hate each other
Dude,
for
fix your
no
collar.
odd reason. Oh, shoot, it's the wire, isn't it? Okay.
It's
Dude,
annoying
no
me.
one's going to see this right now, but okay.
It's annoying me.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, you're special. You're
Yeah,
special,
fix
Kylan.
yourself, Brown Vetchkin.
But honestly,
Fix yourself, bro.
man.
Get off your phone.
I am so excited for a
God,
Canucks
big boy.
Oilers series.
Calm the fuck down.
If we get that again, that's going to go 7 games. And I don't know. I don't think either team wants to face each other.
Well, as long as we don't have to throw Artur Shilovs in net and not have Brock Besser.
Do you think you win that series if you had Demko?
If we have Demko and Besser,
If you have
yes.
Demko, period. You had Besser for 6 games besides... No, Demko, Besser finished the last 3, right?
No,
Missed the last 3?
he missed the last one. He missed the game 7.
He missed game 7.
missed
So you
game
had him for
7.
6 games. I'm sorry, you're going to have a little injury here and there. If you had Demko, or even if you had Casey DeSmith, do you win that series?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think you go on to win the Stanley Cup? Because the
No.
Oilers were 1 game
Fuck
away.
no, we don't. No, we don't.
DeSmith, I don't think you win that. Demko, if you had Demko at prime, then yes, probably.
I would probably give him the edge.
Demko, we win that. Demko only got to play 1 game though, which is sad.
And then he went in and got 5 or 6 on him last night. Got
6-9,
pumped.
yeah, 6-2. Big win for the Oilers.
Got pumped.
Yo, I might have to hop into the Oilers bandwagon
Why?
just to piss off Parker.
Anyways, like I said, a little bit of transition. Matthew's over here wanting to play Tendy. We're not going to mention that, but using the Tendy stick.
Shout out Austin Matthews, man.
But I want to talk.
Scoring and saving goals.
I want to talk more about goalies. I want to get into a couple goalie portions here. The first one being, and we've talked about him ad nauseum. Everyone's talked about him ad nauseum. I want to talk a small bit about Dustin Wolf. I want to ask, do you think he's sort of saving the Flames in any hope of a run? Do you think he's making a issue? Because the issue I have now is that usually if you want to rebuild, you're supposed to be pretty bad. And Dan Vladar is your rebuild goaltender. He's your bridge guy. But now you have Dustin Wolf ready and coming up and proving he's already a starting goaltender in this league. And he's only going to improve from here. So does that change your timeline of the rebuild? Maybe switch to a retool. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'm not sure if you watched yesterday's game, but holy smokes is Dustin Wolf. He's accelerating the rebuild. Again, I don't want to say it's a full rebuild, because to me, a full rebuild, like, we're in a rebuild, but we're not like in a full blow it up rebuild. Full blow it up rebuild was like Ottawa in 2017, where they just said, fuck it, we're gonna get rid of Carlson, like everyone you know, right?
Well, that was more Mike Hoffman's wife.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay.
It's true.
Yes, obviously. But that to
Legend.
me, that's a full blow up rebuild.
Yeah, but you
I
kind of
think-
had to when your captain's fucking your star player's wife.
I think we're
No, he
kind of
wasn't
going.
fucking her. She was talking shit about his wife.
Oh yeah. We don't need to get into that right now.
yeah,
it was that
remember
one.
what
It was
she
that one.
said?
yeah, my fault. I got confused with
Yeah.
Pacioretty and Subban situation.
No, we're not talking about that, and that's rumors. It's just rumors. Okay,
It's just rumors.
that's just rumors.
Just rumors.
Don't
Definitely
even
fucked her.
talk about my my beautiful PK Subban like that. Okay, but back to Wolfie right now. This team, I really hate to say it, but it's reminding me of a Rangers rebuild, where it's kind of like we have the veterans and we're gonna keep the veterans. We know we're not great, but once we get that young talent in, we're gonna be dangerous. And now you see Wolfie coming in, becoming. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but look where
is
the-
he a top 10 goaltender in this league
Not
right now?
yet.
The way he's playing,
Not yet.
This season, I might push him into top 10.
No, he top 15, yes. Top 10, no shit.
I think he's pushing top 10. I will say that.
No, the issue is you can't put him in top 10 because he's such a small sample size in the NHL. The issue with goaltenders is they can have a really great season, like look at Hamburger,
Yeah, that's
Andrew
fair.
Hammond.
That's
They
fair.
can have one great season
But
and then fall off a cliff. So
Again,
that's
I'm
the
not
issue.
talking like overall. I'm talking this season. I think this season he's pushing top 10. I mean, you said
15.
Flames are on a 122 point pace, right? Last episode.
126 point
Sorry,
pace
126.
when Dustin Wolf was in net.
To me, that's insane, right? Dustin Wolf is going to be so good, and this team I think can be really, really good.
But he,
too.
he needs to learn how to play on the road. He always seems to have issues on the road, and that's something. But again, that's also because he's used to minor pro. Like if you look at the AHL, they go to a city, they stay there for a weekend, and then they come back. In the NHL, you're traveling so much more. Like every night you're on a plane. So yeah, I get it. Road trips can be more difficult on a younger goaltender, especially if he's used to that. Go into a city, stay there for 3 or 4 days, and then they can leave type thing, and they do 3 or 4 day homestands type things. I get it. That can be more difficult on him coming from minor pro to NHL. But as a young goaltender, I don't think you can put him into top 10 until he figures out how to be consistent on the road and at home.
So I have a great question for you guys because the Flames are right in that perfect middle right now. We're in the last wild card spot. Trade deadline is around a month and a half now. Are we buyers or sellers? Do you try to go for that playoff spot?
This is the same position the Flames are in every year, and it's the average of mediocrity. It's such a...
I think last year we were very evidently sellers.
I
though.
think you have to take a really good look at where you're on the standings. And it's nothing like I get it. If you stay in the last wild card spot, cool. But then you have to look at how far are you out from those locked top 3 each playoff spots in your division, in your conference, I think, or are you full, or is the point gap such that you're only fighting for that top wild card spot? If you're only fighting for that top wild card spot, then you have to look at the guy who's behind you. If you have someone like Vancouver, for example, who are riding a hot streak, or even Edmonton's out there.
like Vancouver's on a hot streak.
Yeah. If you have someone like Vancouver who's riding a hot
6-2?
streak.
What? Sorry.
If you have someone like Vancouver, for example, and if let's say they're riding a hot streak, for example, where they have scoring, they have depth, they can play, and if Demko's back to his condition, then they have Demko and Lankin, and they have 2 hot goaltenders. And if you look at that, and you're in the last wild card position, and they're like 1 point from you, it's gonna be damn hard to either keep that wild card spot away from them. So there's more value in selling there than it'll be for buying, because if you buy a ton and try and stay in that 16th playoff spot, and Vancouver overtakes you just bought for nothing. So it's a more strategic move to sell in that position. Try and hold on to that playoff spot. Understand you may not get it. That's my opinion as a GM, and that's if I was GM. And like Evan said in the past in this podcast, there's evidently a reason why we are not NHL GMs.
Are you kidding me, dude? I'm like a 72-time champion in NHL EA.
Do you want to talk about the thing we saw today that would have made Allie just wet?
Oh, dude, we went to Stick Fix, and there was a Carey Price Pro Stock Stick Fixed.
Yeah.
How much was it?
We don't
I don't know. The price tag wasn't on. I can
It
check when we
wasn't
go
the price
back there.
tag. We're going back next week, so.
You can come with you. Want to?
I might need to.
you gonna come
Honestly.
with?
Yeah, I might have to.
To be fair,
Dude, the curve on it is like
it's
flat.
only like the top half of the shaft, like the bottom, like the panel and below is all blacked out because it's repaired.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. That's awesome, dude.
But it's
Carey
got
Price
his,
Pro Stock?
it's got his name bar on it, and it's all his whole top.
Name and number.
Okay, moving on. Kind of as we're talking about a little bit goalies.
Look at you. Look at you smiling like a fucking dumbass.
Speaking of
Look at
Carey,
you.
speaking of Carey Price and
He's
the
like,
Montreal.
holy shit, it's Carey Price.
It is
He's like,
Carey Price,
oh my
man.
God.
Yo, okay. There's
on
this
the
really
fucking
funny
beat.
story, dude. My mom accidentally got me. So me and my dad were at the Habs. Like they had the Habs Hall of Fame at the time because we were in Montreal, right? My mom's like, "Yo, Carey Price is here." We literally leave there, And no context whatsoever, we go see my mom. It's like, where's Carey Price? She was just talking about a mural of him. I was so fucking pissed, man.
Damn.
Oh, man. I wanted to meet Carey Price so bad, dude. I got, like, my Carey Price t-shirt on and, like, everything, man. I had a Carey Price sticker. I was ready for him to autograph.
This dude is a fucking loser.
To be fair, I was, like, 8 years old.
Okay, thanks for saying. I thought you did this recently.
No, I wasn't in Montreal recently.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So moving on, talking about goaltenders, talking about Montreal goaltenders. I want to talk about your new guy that's on a hot streak, Dubs or whatever his name is. Dubs.
Yeah, absolutely love that guy.
Oh yeah, dude,
Honestly, man.
he's looking good. He's looking good.
5-0 with a 9.41 right now.
To be fair though, Primo has like a below 1 goals against average in the AHL right now. Dude is popping off in the AHL right now.
Okay, here's my thing about Primo.
It's another Devin Cooley situation where they're popping off in the AHL, but you don't have an NHL roster spot for them.
Hey, honestly, if he can build his confidence, because I thought Primo was going to be the next one after Price. I'll be honest.
Well, it's especially seeing as a fact like they're not going to pull him up right now because Dobbs is on a hot streak, and you have Montembeault who's been good all year. They're not going to call him back up to be a third goaltender or third string when he can play and get minutes down in the AHL.
Yeah. Honestly, he's having a good run right now, but again, can he withstand it? That's the issue, right? Like, is this going to be like a Jordan Bennington situation, Arthur Sheelow situation where you just get hot in a bit? Right? Or like Andrew Hammond is the perfect one.
Jordan Bennington and Arthur Sheelow is a little bit different because Jordan Bennington can hold on to a starting position. He just has anger issues.
I think Arthur
Sheelov's is just shit.
Andrew Hammond. But like he was hot at the right time. Come on, Sheelov's kept Edmonton. Sorry, he kept Vancouver competitive. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, and
he
then
brought
look
them
at
to
the regular
7-0
season.
Edmonton.
Look at the regular season.
Again, he was hot.
Yeah.
He was hot at the right time.
But
a hot goaltender can take you
again,
off.
what I was going to say as well is during the playoffs, you're still doing that. You're in a city for 3 or 4 days, and you're going to the other city for 3 or 4 days, and then back and forth if you need to. Well, a lot of series don't get to that point. So it's more or less, again, it's the on the road because that playoff schedule is a lot more similar to what the AHL does. So he's more used to that, going to that city, staying there for a couple of days, getting situated. It's more difficult when you're going from altitude to altitude, especially from Vancouver, where Vancouver's at sea level, and you're from Vancouver to Calgary, which is up in the Rockies above sea level, down to freaking Montreal, over to Colorado, way up there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different factors that can play in your body, and moving that much in a season, having to play at the top level, it's difficult for a lot of guys to adjust, especially goaltenders. Like that's what I was saying with Dustin Wolf is the fact that's what I'm wondering if that's why he is having issues, it seems, on the road. He's not playing bad on the road, but he's not playing to the same stat that he is at home.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I really want Calgary to make the playoffs just because, I mean, honestly, the city, the vibe is different when we're in the playoffs. Right? There's a different vibe when you're in the playoffs, especially in the city right now. I really hope it's Calgary-Winnipeg. That's what I want. I want I want an all-Canadian matchup.
You want Devin to never shut up?
Okay, no, here's my thing, though, is I want a Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup this year.
Calgary-Winnipeg.
And I think
Calgary-Winnipeg, so you just want Hellebuck to bend over the flames and fist them, basically.
Actually, yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
No, because the reasoning why is I want a Canadian team to win the Cup.
Wolfie-Hellebuck matchup would be wild.
It's going to be a 1-0 game
Two
each
hot
year.
goaltenders, and then a goaltender who's never been hot going to watch him.
And never will be hot.
Oh, man. Hey, are you kidding me? Dude, you saw me in Div 12. I was different, man. I was different.
He was different in Div
I was
12,
different.
dog. Fucking when those kids with Down syndrome came out on a breakaway, he stopped them every time. Every time, dog.
Yeah, he don't give a shit.
He don't give a fuck.
And then he would step over on those kids.
Yes, sir. He'd be like,
Hey.
the fuck you doing, bitch?
Gotta spin the block on the ops, you know?
Okay,
Yeah,
I want
the
to preface this entire section by saying this
Just
is all for
jokes.
comedy purposes.
Just jokes.
We need to do a disclaimer at the start of all our episodes now. It's like, hey, please remember, like and subscribe, and remember that our entire podcast is for comedy purposes. Don't take life too seriously.
Oh, fuck, dog. Div 12, could you imagine what kind of fucking mentally disabled kids would be playing in that shit?
Dog, you're looking at them. We both played Div 12. You played Timbits as a 19-year-old.
All right. I look like fucking Wayne Gretzky compared to those kids, all right?
Dude, you threw one of them into the wall.
So what? He fucking said something. He shouldn't have.
Oh, my God.
Okay,
He's the greater one.
Exactly, dog. Greater than one, dude. Fuck.
greater than one. X-axis is greater than one.
Fuck you.
That's the new one. The Sleepinator also know
The greater than one.
The Sleepinator.
No, greater than one is the greatest one.
I also want to talk, as we're going to move on from Parker's jokes, I want to talk about, still talking about goalies. There's been a Pittsburgh man.
Dude, okay, I'm sorry.
Nedeljkovic.
A goal, assist, and having like a 40 save night? That's got to be one of the greatest goaltending nights I've ever seen.
He has one goal in the ECHL, two in the AHL, and one in the NHL now.
Yeah.
Only goaltender history to ever have one in all three leagues.
Absolute dog, man.
Yeah, bro. Ovi better watch out.
I'm sorry. Goal, assist, and a 40 save night. That's just one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. And he comes out with the win, too. That's the best part.
Yeah, and he's shitting on Tristan Jarry's numbers as well.
Dude, Jarry on waivers shocked me. I'm not going to lie. I know he hasn't been playing great, but like...
What shocked me is Kyle Dubas signed him to that huge contract. Was it this summer or last summer?
I thought he was kind of worth it. I'm not going to lie. It was like $5 million. I thought $5 million was decent for him. I'm not going to lie.
But it's a bigger contract. He had like a $2 million contract before, didn't he? Or was he on his entry?
No, he was on a... Yeah, I think he was on his entry level before. But yeah, he got a big deal. He got a big deal.
It's a bigger deal, and then he just went to shit.
Like, we got to talk about the Penguins, man. Honestly, like...
With the retirement home?
Like, what is Dubas doing? I understand you're trying to get the best of Crosby right now, but
it's hard. You
sign these horrible contracts. Like, Carlson is not doing great again.
Well, yeah, but you signed Carlson. You didn't need Carlson. You have Letang. You didn't need Carlson.
Well, after a 100-point season, it's kind of nice to add a Norris defenseman.
No, I agree with that, but you have your former Norris defenseman in Letang.
And second of all, Letang is always injured. But again, Carlson's always injured, so I get what you mean.
They didn't need Carlson. They could have used that money for someone else to get someone else. I get trying to always stay and win now because no matter what, Crosby's one of the few players who's been a generational talent that with age has not slowed down at all. Like that man is still putting up hella points as a 40-year-old now.
Well, again, his game has been
geriatric,
IQ.
dude.
His biggest factor was his IQ, right? That's never changed.
100%. So. That's never going to change. I truly believe that when Crosby's finished playing, he'll be a fantastic coach because of his hockey IQ.
I don't think he's coaching. I think he's just going to fall off the cliff and everyone's going to be like, where's Crosby? We're never going to see him again.
No, I don't think he's going to be a GM or a coach?
I think he'll be a coach.
I think he's just going to be off a cliff and he's just going to show up in Pittsburgh.
I think he's going to be a receptionist for Pittsburgh, front office.
In all seriousness, I don't know if he'll do it, but I think he'd be a fantastic coach because of his hockey IQ.
Yeah.
And to be fair though, that's all he knows. Like he
retires, goes to Colorado to coach McKinnon.
Oh my lord, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That one.
The Tim Horton squad?
Yes, sir.
But no, it's with Crosby, you always have a chance to win. So I've heard other podcasts talk about this. With that, always having a chance to win, you have to always try and do something and get the most out of Crosby every single season because you only have probably 2-3 more years of him.
Yeah.
Like realistically, our childhood era is coming to an end of our childhood stars.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, Carey Price is already in the hospital, so.
Carey Price is already getting a knee and hip replacement because he's geriatric.
Yeah.
Then there's...
Well, I'm the next generation, man.
You're the next generation?
Hey,
next
you thought
generation.
Ovechkin was good? Wait till you meet Brown Ovechkin, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
And the greater than one.
Dog. Than one.
Yeah, I'm the franchise center, baby.
He is the franchise center, $10 million deal, right?
Lord.
Yeah, $10 million a game.
Do you like our franchise center this morning?
Oh, absolutely.
Did you see the picture?
Hey, gotta get the carbs in. Got to get the carbs in, right?
8 in the fucking
It was
morning.
8:45 this morning. This dude was eating a donut and a fruity ass ice cap.
You bought it for me, dog.
I did buy it for you, yes, because I was getting myself breakfast.
I was in bed when you were buying that.
Well, because I thought originally D-Dog was going to be on the podcast, and we were bringing a couch to his house, so I was getting us stuff so we would be awake, and then he was like, oh, let's do it tomorrow. I'm like, shit.
Parker, you like him fruity?
Dude, he gets a white chocolate pistachio ice cap.
All right.
No, what? That's even a thing, bro. That's like the most Starbucks drink I've ever heard.
All right. Well, it tastes good, so fuck you.
Okay,
It's either that or a black coffee. Nothing else.
So you like him black and fruity?
Fuck yeah, I like them black and fruity, just like you, Allie.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, buddy. All right, Kylan, you want to move on, buddy?
Okay, so moving on to our next topic. Sort of about two things. First off, apparently it was leaked by the Minnesota GM on a podcast that Gary Bettman is retiring in the next couple of years. After being commissioner for so long. So the Canadian teams have a chance to win the cup. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Got a chance.
Yeah,
You
so
got a real shot now.
apparently he leaked it in a podcast and he didn't know that Bettman hadn't told anyone.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Craig Leopold to Chris Johnson, very reliable source there.
Yeah. So there's that, but I also want to talk sort of in general. There's all these extra taxes that are coming up, that are coming through, and all this. But I also want to mention there's been so many talks in the league the last 2 seasons about raising the salary cap. I want to know your guys' opinion on raising the salary cap. How do you think it'll affect the league? Do you think that it's going to make big market teams have the advantage, like where it comes to baseball? Like, I don't want it to be baseball where you have the Dodgers picking up everyone and their fucking mum because they have the money to do so. Like, they picked up Shohei, they picked up Rookie. No, is it Rookie?
They picked up like that Sasaki kid too.
That's
somehow.
Sasaki.
I don't know how they pulled that off.
I think his first name is Rookie. I'm not.
Yeah.
Sasaki. I know his last name is Sasaki.
Because he was supposed to go anywhere but the Dodgers, and somehow still ended up with the Dodgers.
He was down to 3. He was down to the Jays, the Dodgers, and
I want to say Padres off the
I think it was the Padres. It was Padres, Jays, and Dodgers. Heavens free goes to the Pirates. Fuck my life.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Yeah. Hey, you got Livy Dunn's boyfriend there, so.
Yeah, he's our only good. We have good pitchers, and that's literally it. We can't do shit other than pitch.
Well, this isn't a baseball podcast, so.
Anyways,
Womp
Womp womp.
again, the Blue Jays getting screwed out of a top prospect by the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, do you think it'll get to that point where it's going to be these big market teams doing that? Because a small market, not every small market team, like it is, whereas right now every team can compete and make that salary cap. If they raise it much more, I'm not sure the smaller organizations will be able to. Like your teams, like for example, Utah, for example, they're a small organization right now. They've been a big one.
I think Utah will be fine.
Like, but you have small organizations. I'm not sure.
No,
like, how do you think it'll affect it all?
I think I'll be chilling as a Vancouver fan. I think I'll be fine.
Okay. Here is my thing. Is if we're just talking about raising the salary cap, I think it should be fine. I think it should be fine. It's ownership. Because, like, if you look at a guy like Ryan Smith is not afraid to spend, right? That's the Utah owner. He is not afraid to spend. He wants to win. He will spend it, right?
Yeah.
If there is an owner like Alex Morello, that's the first guy that comes off the top of my head.
Who's the owner again?
The Arizona Coyotes former owner who refused to spend any money, barely did anything in Arizona, right? If you have an owner like that, that's going to bring the team down. And you already see it with the Arizona Coyotes. They didn't have much success under Morello either.
The Coyotes?
Yeah, the Coyotes, whatever. Okay.
Coyotes.
But if we're just talking as a system overall, that I believe the salary cap needs to be reformed. I believe we should have a luxury tax. By luxury tax, I mean, say the salary cap is $80 million and Vancouver wants to get another player on top of that. You can go over the $80 million. So if you want to get $4 million over the $80 million, you have to spend an extra $4 million, and that $4 million goes to teams who haven't spent over the salary cap. Hence, meaning those guys have more money to now spend to get there. And the bigger teams can get the big players they want.
That seems a lot more I understand what you're saying.
The way the NBA does it, basically.
I understand what you're saying with that, but I think that that's just a more overcomplicated way of just raising the salary cap.
I think it's better because, like,
I think
as much as the hard salary cap is good,
It'd be good as I don't mind adopting the NBA's salary cap rules. It's just their fucking trade rules are awful.
I do mind adopting their salary cap rules. I like the hard salary cap because it makes it so that every team has a specific amount to do it, and it makes it so you can't have players like Connor McDavid getting $20 million a year. Like I think the salary cap should stay the way it is. I think it should be raised by a couple million.
I think we should get baseball money.
No, that's never gonna happen for hockey. That's just never gonna happen, dude.
Well, yeah. I agree
Or
with
soccer
that.
money.
Neither's ever gonna
soccer's
happen.
not happening. I'm sorry.
Neither's ever gonna happen. I understand why that could be beneficial for the salary cap of doing that whole, if you want to spend over, then however much you have, each team gets as well over. The issue with that is that you're gonna have one team spend over, and then the rest of the teams are going to sign another player because they can. And the issue I'm going to find with that is that you'll end up having no salary cap because you will have teams that'll go $20, $30, $40 million over.
With all due respect to that, look at the NBA. They have almost the exact same system I was proposing, right? And each year, like Oklahoma City and Cleveland are the two top teams in the East and the West, right? It balances things out. And teams like the Lakers, yes, you can overspend and do that, but it goes to these smaller market teams towards the end.
Well, they're still
right?
shit because they're giving everything to LaDaddy.
Well, that's the thing, is right.
LeBron!
Like
LeBron.
I believe I'm fully for that. I am fully for that. I think it
I
works.
don't-
I think it
I don't think
balances
it'll work
things
for
out.
hockey.
And why wouldn't it work the same?
I don't.
Why would it not work the same?
In my mind, in my mind, it just overcomplicates needing to raise the salary cap, and it makes it more difficult and in a sense makes it almost allowed for a team to go over the salary. You're basically saying, yeah, it's fine to go over the salary cap, but everyone else can do it as well. Well, I get that, but then my more thing is, where does it end? Where does it end? Where does it stop? If it doesn't end, doesn't stop, I think it's dumb.
So the thing is like the Warriors had this issue. They were spending, obviously they're the Warriors. They had all these players, right? All this money in the world, all these max contracts. But the thing is it got to a point where it was like a $500 million tax, right? So there's like a first apron, a second apron, a third apron. The more you spend, the bigger tax you have to give. That's the thing. That's how you discourage it. If, like, again, the only way this could really break is if the Saudis somehow come in here and just say, here's $10 billion, screw it.
What, like they did with fucking soccer and golf?
That's the only way this system doesn't work, right? But it does discourage people to go over the salary cap because you have to pay through your ass.
The thing is with how expensive hockey is in general, like basketball is expensive, but hockey is 16 times more expensive because if you think about it, just on goalies alone, they get, if you're talking about equipment, you're talking about staffing, you're talking about ice costs to maintain the ice, you're talking about all this stuff. Hockey is so much more expensive. There will be owners that'll go to these big investors for that, and that'll happen.
True.
It's not an if. It's not an if. It's a when it'll happen. Because with all the money that it costs to run an NHL team, like let alone if you're just talking equipment costs, let alone goaltenders get 5, 6, 7 sets of gear a year. Players get however many skates they want. They get hundreds of sticks a year if they want them. Like that's what I'm saying.
Players on average usually like 3 pairs of skates a year.
So Kylan,
Yes.
I'm just gonna talk to you this.
Kadri has 20 million pairs of gloves and I sell them all the fucking time.
Okay, dude, I don't know if you can disclose this, but like if I were to get a goalie pads at cost, like where would it be around the hundreds? Like where would it be around the price?
Cost?
At cost.
Depends what brand.
Like just give me any brand. Like how much would I spend around?
At cost, well, first off, NHL teams don't get cost.
Well, some of them do have sponsorships. I'm just saying, at cost, how much would it be?
Cost, you're probably looking between estimating probably about 1,000 to 2,000 for a set of pads, glove blocker.
Glove blocker? Okay.
Between $1,000 and $1,500 and $1,500.
Okay. And that comes with the glove and blocker, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
At cost, but then they're paying like cost
but
plus
also
20
the
probably.
difference is all those players that are sponsored, the teams don't pay for that. The players get it for free.
Yeah.
That's the difference there, okay?
Yes.
And I agree. Those players, it's different. But what I'm talking about is the players who aren't sponsored. Because in actuality, we can say the companies are very smart. They use players who like their gear and want to buy their gear to advertise a lot of times. And have very few players have actually sponsored. Bauer, I think the only goaltender they have that sponsors their shit that they have sponsored is Andrei Vasilevsky.
Like goalie wise?
Yeah.
Please.
Goalie wise as well. The only for Brian's it's Shesty. For CCM it was Markstrom. Like, there's no one for Warrior.
No.
True has Hellebuck.
True as Hellebuck.
True has a lot of people actually. So.
True sponsored a lot, but True's always been.
True makes really nice pads and.
Well, no. True doesn't make the pads. Lefebvre makes the pads.
Okay, my bad.
True just takes their brand and puts a sticker on it. But that's what True's built off of. They made sticks because they had no golf.
Frederick Anderson, and they had Lundqvist, but he's gone now.
Who?
Bauer.
Yeah, but that's 2 goaltenders. So that's only 2 goaltenders you're giving out free gear to. Every other Bauer goaltender who loves Bauer gear, the team pays for it.
And Warrior, I think, is out of the game. Last ones they had was Rask and Holtby. So, Tuukka Rask. And
Warrior wouldn't be. Warrior.
They're out of the game.
Oh,
now.
sticks they did.
They're out of the game.
No, they still pay.
Do pads?
They do pads, but Rask and Holtby never used pads. Holtby used CCM pads.
I thought Holtby was a Warrior guy.
Hell no, dude.
He used a Warrior stick,
Warrior
though.
pads is all over in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good stuff, man. No, you're right. He did use. He used Lefebvre. You're right about that. Okay.
Yeah, they used Lefebvre.
Cool.
It's the reason why True is so many is because Lefebvre is by far one of the best goalie pads in the world.
Yeah.
The best.
Then True sticks are.
Yo, hit me up. I need a sponsorship. There's not many goalies out here. You know?
What I'm
True
saying-
has nice sticks. They're just fragile.
On both goalie and player. That's the way it is. But it's back to my point. With equipment cost alone, it's expensive as hell. Like teams are easily spending upwards of $100,000 a year on equipment for players. Like even if you're looking at actual players, there's only a few handful that are actually sponsored by companies. Like Crosby was sponsored by Reebok, but he's now
CCM.
He's not. Is he sponsored by CCM? Yeah, he's CCM. There's McDavid with CCM. There's McCarr with Bauer.
Hughes with Bauer.
Both Hughes with Bauer.
Ziegs and Caulfield are both Bauer guys.
Yeah.
They use Bauer.
And then
Caulfield
got,
sponsored. Zegers is not. I don't think.
No, Ziegs is sponsored.
You
Yeah, he's a
have
sponsored
guys
guy.
like
I've seen him on the page at least. So.
Bedard, Nylander,
Sherwood.
and
No,
not Caulfield.
not
DeBrincat.
Yeah.
Are all Sherwood, and
Yeah.
then
But that's the thing. You're gonna have
then you
certain
got
guys
Erik Karlsson, full Warrior.
you're gonna have certain guys that are gonna use certain things and be sponsored by them. But overall, the cost is so high with just equipment. Not to let alone your rink maintenance, your ice maintenance, your staffing, your coaching, your player salaries. I think if you add that luxury tax in there, it's going to lead to having foreign investors. I'm not against foreign investors, but I'm against bringing in so much money that you end up getting this huge disparity between the top teams and the lower market teams, like you see in baseball. That's what I don't want hockey to get to, and that's what I feel like it's going to be leading to.
I feel like, again, you had that big problem about if we raise the salary cap, it would that happen? I think the luxury tax would work. I just think it honestly works because top teams will have to give the money to the bottom teams, and the bottom teams will have to spend it.
I don't. The only reason why I don't see it at work, like I said, I think it's going to attract too many foreign investors.
And I know your equipment argument, yes, but like, let's be honest, these guys are billionaires. Is there one owner that's not a billionaire? Or at least not in $1 billion group, right?
I 100% agree with that. But if they're having to shell out even more money and all this stuff, it's going and
stay under the salary cap then.
No offense, billionaires are but they're not going to because they want to win because they make more money if they.
You can win with being under the salary cap.
They make, but they're
and
not.
then you get money given to you to go over.
The difference is that if they try and win with the salary cap and you have one team like let's say New York because hell knows that they don't care about spending money. If you have or Vegas, I'm a Vegas fan. I know we don't give a shit about spending money. If we have someone like Vegas, for example. And they say, balls to the walls, we'll pay it. Let's go full Golden State here. Well, now you're versing a team of literal superstars versus your team that's within the salary cap. Yeah, you can go over a little bit, but you're still within the salary cap. And they just said, fuck it, balls to the walls, we're getting everyone possible. How are you going to compete with that? And the only way you can compete with that is by getting foreign investors to have more money. Because let's be honest, billionaires are billionaires because they don't want to spend money. They spend as little money as possible. Like it is what it is. That's the way the way they have their wealth is because they don't spend their wealth.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if I'm a billionaire team owner, why wouldn't I get a foreign investor for this luxury tax, have them pay for the luxury tax, go way over my salary cap, and win a cup because I have all these star players?
Yeah, you got a point there.
What? Fuck you.
There were teams that have won though without paying the tax in the NBA at least. So
yeah, but how many are them versus the actual players teams who have paid the luxury tax?
That is fair. Yeah, there was more teams that won playing the luxury tax.
I would say we had St. Louis that won in when was it again? 2019. But look at that anomaly of a year. Like there's always going to be those anomalies, but it's in general, I don't think it's as good for the sport because why wouldn't you bring in foreign investors to spend that extra money and spend the extra money even if you pay for to other teams when you can just...
Honestly, it's going to sound bad, but I think foreign investors are good for the game. Like, if you think about it, we need to grow globally. I
agree with growing I agree with growing globally. The issue I have with
who doesn't want to play a game in Saudi Arabia, bro?
I'd love to do that.
Let's do an outdoor game in Saudi Arabia.
Outdoor game in Saudi Arabia is fucking devious.
Yeah, that would be a lot of money.
Fuck, it's bad enough they're doing it in Florida.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
Double or nothing, man. Are you kidding me?
Anyways,
let's do this.
We're not gonna talk about that again. Well, I think that it's great to grow the game, and we should be growing the game. My issue is not with growing the game with the foreign investors. My issue is with, like I said, having it work towards that disparity between the teams and having a Dodger situation where you have a team that's not afraid to spend money, has proven that, like now Utah, like Vegas. Vegas is a perfect example. I'm a Vegas fan, but I can even admit that we are not afraid to spend any money.
Oh no, you guys went all out, yeah.
We spent as much money as
your owner didn't even ask for money from Vegas, the city itself, to pay the arena.
Yeah.
He fully funded it himself.
As far as I know, our owner has basically given our GMs a blank check to win. as far as I know.
Yeah, Bill Foley's a great. Honestly, I would say he's the best owner in the NHL right now. I would say it.
Oh yeah,
I would say it.
But I'm saying when you have someone who's like that, who's not afraid to spend, and you have someone like, let's say, I'm just using an example, Vancouver's ownership who wants to stay competitive but doesn't seem like they want to spend as much money. Like, because hell, look how long it took for Pettersson to get that big contract. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, but that was kind of Pettersson's fault.
yeah, no,
offense.
100%. But they're very, very picky on who they spend a big contract on. Doesn't look like they like to spend as much money.
Like
versus
Hughes is still on 7 mil.
exactly. Versus someone like Vegas who's going to sit there and be like, fuck you, balls to the walls. You're going to end up growing, not as much with Vancouver because they have top end talent. But as that progresses, you're going to end up having this big, huge ass disparity, especially with a smaller market team like my main one is Columbus. Like Columbus, like they're not doing bad this year, but they're not a big market team.
No.
They're in Ohio, for goodness sake. The Buckeyes are the big thing there. So as you keep going, it's going to keep doing this and this and this. And then what is Columbus going to have to do? Get a foreign investor to try and raise up. And it's going to end up being something like having a title sponsor. So it'd be like something other Columbus Blue Jackets. Like, and it'll just keep raising. But as you keep going, it'll raise. And then you're going to have having like $100 million when it's one person. Which I don't agree with.
I'm fully for the luxury tax. Like, honestly, again, we can agree to disagree here, but I fully think it will help the game more than anything. Yeah, that's what I'll say. You want to move on to the next thing, Kylan?
Sure. So the next thing we're going to talk about, and I think the last thing we're going to talk about today, is just in general about Utah. So they applied for their grants, their patents.
Did you want to do Jonathan Taves before that? That's a big one. He might be back.
It's 25-26. It's looking like it'll be 25-26 if he comes back. It'll be next season. I don't think he
I
should.
know Winnipeg's in. Winnipeg's talking right now, so.
I don't think he should.
No? Okay.
Leave you had mental health issues. I get that.
I think he'll be an Oiler, if anything.
I can understand that.
He's got that Stan Boyman connection.
He's aged, and I'm not saying aging is bad, but when you're out of the game for that long and not as high of a level for that long, it's hard to hop back in. And no offense, if I'm Jonathan Taves, he will have to do at least a conditioning stint in the AHL. If I'm Jonathan Taves, I want to keep my legacy as the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks, that Stanley Cup winner. I wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
The fuck are you laughing at?
In my head, he just said legacy and Chicago Blackhawks Stanley Cup winner. I instantly think of 2010. So let's keep it rolling.
2010? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Keep it rolling. Yeah.
No, but I'd want to keep that sort of what you're seen as back then as this fantastic playmaker, fantastic player, rather than come back and potentially risk that going away because you're not. The game's changed a lot since he last played. It's become a lot faster, a lot more technical, a lot more play. It's become a lot more of you're doing your plays versus more or less. Back then it was more run and gun style.
Yeah.
Versus, which is great for him because he has hands, but he's also big.
Yeah.
He was a power forward with hands.
Yeah,
It was nice.
It was great for him in that era, especially playing with Kane.
Yeah.
But nowadays,
Patrick Sharp, too.
how many power forwards are there in the league?
Don't forget about
There's a
Bifugly
few.
and
Yeah, and Buffalo's on the team as well. Yeah, but like there's a few power forwards in the league, but they're a handful versus they were all over the place in that back then.
Now they're just
Eh,
sprinkled.
I still think that it would be better for him to just accept that his playing days are done. He had some issues, that had a short career, and leave it at that. Let him.
He's still going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, of course he is. Dude has 2 cups and captain. Probably one of the best teams of all time. Actually, he may not because of that whole 2010 issue.
True. And
well, I would say 2015 Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, I'd say 2015 Chicago Blackhawks are pretty one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah,
They're
he's
up
still
there.
captain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Like
he was captain.
Yeah, I mean, like
for a
3-time
long
champion.
time.
Like if you look purely at the stats and no context, yeah, he was one of the greatest captains.
He was
of all
at
time.
one point the youngest captain of all time.
And
at one
he won
point.
3 Stanley Cups with a Chicago dynasty that was honestly so stacked from head to toe.
Yeah,
so
Corey Crawford on that team. Oh my gosh.
he was good, bro.
I think the only reason why I think he may not get in the Hall of Fame is because of that whole scandal in 2010.
No, he was getting in. I'm sorry, the Hall of Fame is not the Hall of good guys.
No, I agree
He's
with you.
getting in.
I agree with you, but nowadays with the way it is, I'm not saying I don't want to see him in. I want to see him in. I'm saying I can see if they don't.
Frankly,
That's like saying Patrick
'Kay.
Kane won't get in because of his thing.
okay, but like
He was
to
acquitted.
be fair,
I
look,
know he was. Yeah.
I
That's
do
the
not.
difference.
I do not like Jonathan Taves because, like, from what I read in that paper, it seemed like everyone knew that's what happened in the scandal and everything. But he can always say, "I never knew." And second of all, if you look purely at the stats, he's he's a
And
first ballot
I'm
Hall
not.
of Famer.
I'm not.
So
I'm not saying anything like that. What I'm saying
He's
is,
making
you
it.
can look at it at the same way as who was it? The one player. Oh, was it McInnes?
McGillney.
Brendan Shanahan fucked his teammate's wife.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I think it was it McInnes?
Is it McGillney?
No,
No,
it was
not
it was a
McGillney.
Flames player. He should be the Hall of Fame. It's McInnes.
McInnes is in the
No,
Hall of
McInnes
Fame.
is in the Hall of Fame.
No, it's not. There's one Flames player.
Oh, Theron Fleury?
Theron Fleury. That's what it is. That's what
Yeah.
I'm meaning.
Because of his
Because of his cocaine, because
Yeah.
of, and he's come out and said all this, by the way. It's not like
Yeah.
we're inferring. But because of his drug use and because of all the bridges he burned in the hockey community.
But Jonathan Taves hasn't burned
He hasn't burned any
communities.
bridges, but if you're captaining that squad, that's what I'm saying. Like the Hall of Fame cannot risk, with the way hockey is, they cannot risk scandal.
Yeah, but
With all due respect, Stan
Think of
Bowman
how
got a
many-
job within a year and a half.
think of how many people who are in the
And
Hall
he was
of
the one
Fame
that hit it
who-
and knew about it.
How many people are in the Hall
Is he
of
working
Fame
now,
who
though?
have done
No.
some
Yes,
shitty
yes, he
things?
is. Kylan, he's the
Right.
general manager of the Edmonton Oilers.
Stan Bowman?
Stan Bowman is the general manager of the Edmonton Oilers. A year and a half, this guy hid sexual assault for a decade, and he got a job within a year and a half of the scandal.
Yeah, but it's the
So-
Oilers. They like to pick up those kind of players. They
With
picked up
all
Evander
due
Kane
respect-
and Corey Perry,
with-
dude.
Well, we don't know what Corey Perry did. Okay?
Actually, it was.
He's a dirtbag, but we don't know what he did.
Apparently, it was just a race. It was. I don't think it was racist, but it was a comment towards a staff member. It was nothing to do with Bedard's mom, like everyone predicted.
Well, no shit, it had nothing to
That
do
was
with
crazy.
Bedard's mom.
Whoever started that rumor, you're a sick man.
yeah, you're a
yeah.
sicko. You're a
Fuck you,
sicko,
dog.
dude. It's just like I said. I want him to get in, but I can see them not.
Yeah.
He'll be
But as I was saying, our last topic, Utah. So they've applied for all their trademarks, everything with the U.S. Patent Office. U.S. Patent Office has denied 3 of them. So they denied
Venom, Blizzard, and Yeti.
Blizzard, and Yeti. The funniest one is Yeti because all 3 of them can be too close to other patents type thing. I get that. The funniest one is Yeti because they said, oh, it can be too closely recognizable to the Yeti drinkware company, which is wild to me because they are very different. The
but-
marketing opportunity
so,
there was wild for them.
From
as
what
well.
I understand, it's because Yeti actually has clothing brand. So they
Clothing
have
brand. They
yeah,
have, like,
there's
3
there's Yeti
shirts.
shirts, there's Yeti sweaters,
There's
there's
like
Yeti
4
jeans.
shirts. That's it.
Yes, but apparently it'd be too confusing.
Anyways, so there was those 3 were axed.
I think everyone wanted the Yeti too. It's such a cool name.
Now
So
it's between Outlaws and Mammoth.
yeah, it's Outlaws and Mammoth were okay.
I think it's Mammoth.
I think Outlaws sounds better, but they could keep their colors if they go with Mammoth.
Yeah,
I think they'll have
and
to
then
rebrand.
the Utah Hockey Club, they actually applied for a patent of that one as well, and they said you can't patent it because it has the name Utah in it.
You can't patent a state.
Yeah, you can't
They
patent
should
a
just
state.
become Hockey Club. Nothing
Which is
else.
funny because they're okay with being the Utah Mammoth or Utah Outlaws,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you can't do Utah Hockey Club.
Super Soakers.
I like the Storm and Mormons. That's my
Storm
favorite.
and
Soakers.
Mormons,
Super
yes,
Soakers,
sir.
dog.
Yeah, Super Soakers is a pretty cool one, but sadly I don't
Alley's
think any
a
of those are
Super
gonna happen.
Soaker.
Oh god, dude. Dude, you're something else.
Just
All right.
bouncing up and down.
Oh my!
You guys want to just wrap it up there?
Yeah.
I think that's a good. I think that's a good ending there.
Yeah.
Kyle, you want to give us the outro?
Yeah, sure. So thank you guys for watching.
Let's go.
Have a great day. Don't take this too seriously. These are all jokes, by the way.
Especially Parker. Do never
Especially
take Parker.
Parker.
seriously.
Our whole podcast is jokes with a little bit of hockey talk in there. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
have a great day, you guys, and see you guys
like
next
and
time.
subscribe.
Like and
Fuck
subscribe,
you
boys.
all.
All right,
Like
see ya.
you all.
Subscribe.